This is the first of we hope to be mini monthly waddles because penguins waddle. They don't just walk, they do a very fun version of walking. We are going to call our monthly kind of town hall meetings where we can talk about what's going on, talk about things that the community is interested in or has questions about, to have a consistent, regular conversation with everyone that's a part of this community. So that's what we're trying to establish here. This one's going to be probably a little different than the ones going forward because we are going to present some information about our story so far, where we've been, how we started, how we got to where we are, and some organizational concepts. And then going forward, we're going to have more of a conversational tone. So we'll go ahead and start with the next slide, and I'll introduce the first speaker. So the first slide is going to be a history of Asterith, and I'm pretty sure Brave is going to be taking this one over and talk about how we got to where we currently are and kind of the big pieces that led into that. So if you want to take that over, Brave.
Sure. So I've been here pretty much from the beginning. We had Tall Girl, the viral video, the original video. It's on our website. And then she created the Discord server called We the People Need an App. And there were like 8 of us in the first voice chat, like the couple days later after she created or maybe it was the same day she created the Discord server. And a few days later, there were 2,600 people, and everything had changed. There was like, just chaos. It was like herding cats because there wasn't really any leadership structure, because Tall Girl, even though it was an idea she had, she doesn't know how to build now. She's like, I'm focused on the boycotts for Kellogg's and other things. So like, I don't want to do this. So she like had a couple of friends that she's like, I know you develop apps. Can you take this over? And so they kind of tried to start organizing things. I offered to help. Because I was very also interested in this as an app developer and in tech. And so I've kind of lived through different iterations of trying to bring in leadership to the effort, so that we could be organized. Drew, great animated GIF. And just really get on the same page, because there was a lot of different people at that time from slightly different areas of the algorithm, and some people had different approaches to how they wanted to do things. It led to a lot of conversation about our values, about the ethics of the company, a lot of unity from this community unity from the community on this very topic. And then I think we were working for several months, and then we tried to have a temporary incorporation to hold, and we'll talk about that more in the legal slide, to be financially responsible before we started to collect donations, because we wanted to have integrity the whole way through. A few people having eyes on that account to make sure that there's fiduciary accountability, and then a legal holding place for our assets. That's when we became Asterith, a temporary DBA, doing business as, and then a few months later, TikTok was about to be banned, right? So I think it was about 8 months of the history of this effort before TikTok was actually down for 24, 38 hours, whatever it was. And then we saw that it got restored with a lot of changes and some quite disturbing politicalized, propaganda, maybe, as some would call it. Something definitely was different. And we've been feeling that for even the last year or so, the institutification of apps, just the TikTok shop and different things that creators wish were different about TikTok even, which leads us to why our brand or our company and our mission is still relevant, even if TikTok does get quote unquote saved, even if it remains. Our mission is still very relevant, because even with TikTok, it doesn't put people first, right? It's, as we've seen, it's going to do whatever it can for the business and the shareholders, because that's just the way it is. So that is a little history of Asterith. We've been around almost a year. I think March is when this all kind of first began, of last year. So, we're committed to doing it the right way and slow and steady, so that we have a great foundation. And that's kind of the history of Asterith. Now you're all caught up. Whoop, whoop.
This is really what drives us. So, our mission here at Astrith is putting the community first. That means protecting our right to connect online. We want to be able to share information, entertainment, other pebbles. We don't want to be censored. We want to be able to have that free flow so we can become more connected and have a better community. With that in mind, we're designing for the benefit of our users and not their exploitation. So you might have heard the quote, if the product is free, then you're the product. And that's true of social media all throughout the landscape. Well, here we're looking at how can we actually make this social media benefit you instead of exploit you, instead of just basically harvesting users for advertising and data and all of that stuff. And that's really interesting because it opens us up to a lot of interesting design concepts that don't really work if you're trying to exploit, but they do work if you're trying to benefit people. We're also looking at more ethics and altruism in our business, putting people before profit. How can we give back and do the right thing, which is something we just don't see enough of in today's world. And as part of that, we want fair compensation. We want fair compensation for the workers and the creators, the people who make the app what it is, rather than just taking all of that profit and funneling it to the 1%. And as part of that, we want to make both our app and the design and how we build it, we want to make it billionaire proof. And we also want to look at our company structures and the legal underpinnings behind that to make sure we're billionaire proof from that angle as well. So we can really get all of this goodness cycling within our community rather than being siphoned off from it.
Going back to our company structure, we do believe in transparency. Obviously, there's some legal reasons why certain things are private or confidential, just for protections from people's private data and stuff like that. But we do have an LLC that holds our limited assets for now under that DBA of Astrith. Members of this community who have been involved from the beginning are fiduciaries of that LLC. So there's 3 of us, and that way it again keeps eyes and accountability on everyone else that's involved. And we've signed a fiduciary agreement to honor the mission and the certain stipulations of like how that money will only be used for this mission, things like that. And we actually thankfully just have somebody who's a very experienced accountant who's joined our volunteer group, and they're here. I don't know if you want to give, like, if I'm okay giving you a shout out, but put it in the chat if you're okay with being outed. So they're going to help us with just having great records as we get to the point of spending some of the donations. Right now, all we've used the donations for is yay, highlight to Pixie Vixen. She's been volunteered to be our accountant and help us do like monthly kind of something about just checking to make sure the books and the accounts are all ready to be filed with the taxes and all of that good stuff, so that we're doing our due diligence and aren't caught off guard by anything. So right now, all we've used the funds that we've raised is for purchasing the domains of the app names and the logo of the Astrith website. Actually, Swing Dance Queen was generous and donated the actual Squarespace hosting, but we did use the funds that we raised to buy the domain, like so the .com, Astrith.com, the Pebbler.co, the Pebbler.app, and some of the other ones that we were hoping to use, like Cosmera, before we found out about NASA. But now we have those domains if NASA wants to buy them from us. So those are the only things we've really used the funds on. We have talked about needing to buy like maybe 1 seat of Figma so that we can use the robust design tools. But right now, Derek's been kind enough to let us use his account that he already purchased pro tools for. So we're trying to find really frugal ways to honor the funds. And so that's the legal aspect for the funds. And we are planning, once we're really close to finishing a prototype that we can use in an Indiegogo campaign for crowdfunding. And that's when we're really hoping to reach those larger fundraising goals, so that we can afford to incorporate as the permanent business entity, or like the next stage of our business entity, which we're looking at either a co-op because it's very in line with our mission. But unfortunately, the cons of a co-op is that it's very expensive to start. There's a lot of legal reasons of like any member has to be paid a certain amount of hours or something. So it's like there's a lot of stipulations that for the early stage might not be realistic for us, but that's what our goal is. Or a public benefit corporation, which is a certain kind of corporation that is acknowledged to be about the benefit of the good of like society or the earth, and so you actually have to already have you have to be incorporated already as a legal entity, like a C corp, in order to apply to be a benefit corp. So either way, both of those are going to require us to be probably an LLC, and we figure taxed as a C corp based on recommendations from like Pixie Vixen and ADS, our legal person, as a start, just because that seems to be the simplest and easiest way for us to manage things as the early stages. And then hopefully, we could apply for being either a benefit corp or a co-op. So with the funds, once we have a product and some income from that we could then pay a co-op membership. So that's kind of our plan for company structure. Whatever fits in our mission. And if there's a new company structure that comes up in the meantime that actually will be better suited for us in the future, we'll research that, because we're committed to being whatever is going to protect this mission, right, for the long haul, and to be billionaire proof and to be corruption proof. So that's it. And either way, just to put it out there as well, no matter what company structure we have, we are going to have very strong articles of incorporation and bylaws, because that's kind of what holds the company accountable, no matter how it's incorporated. And we're working on that draft right now, and we'll share that more with you guys for weigh-in once we have something to present to you. But we definitely, it's like a company constitution.
There was a question in the chat saying, do we have a plan to stop future owners from changing the rules? And that's kind of what Brave was outlining, with very strong and very specifically phrased and designed articles of incorporation and bylaws. And especially when incorporating into something like a B Corp or a co-op, it's a lot more difficult for kind of capture by a small group of shareholders in certain ways. So that's kind of what we're trying to get to where it's very hard for small amounts of people to control the collective over the opinion of the collective itself. So that's where we're pushing toward.
Cool. Big reveal. You guys voted. We had a lot of iterations. Shout out to Machuski, our logo master. Created the asterisk logo, knocked it out of the park, created this cute little penguin logo, and then created the really cool, kind of yin-yang-esque circular penguin logo, which is what you guys voted on for the strongest of the two. But we all really liked both of them. We all really liked the full body penguin. So there might be a case for us to use the full body penguin selectively, maybe for some merch or some places where it doesn't have to be a clearly defined logo, because it harkens so closely to the circle version. But the circle version will be the predominant logo that you guys, we all agree that was the strongest one. So you'll see that on the website Favicon and the app, probably the app download screen, whatever, the little app icon, that's the word I was looking for. And everywhere else, that's probably going to be the one you see the most. So I just want to give another shout out to the whole design team. Lots of iterations, lots of brainstorming. I wish I could give you a little preview of our logo brainstorm thread, because woo, is it fun. I could actually, if you wanted me to share my screen, you could just go check out that. I'll put the link in the chat. You could just check the history of that thread. Although you won't see the ones in the volunteer channel, but you can see the one in the public channels. And yeah, it's pretty fun to see where everybody's ideas led, and just really proud of this group, and really thankful for Minchewski. Yeah, everybody really loves us and digging the whole brand. So we'll have brand colors to present to you guys soon. We're almost done with some options to present on a poll. But yeah, we're making steady progress with our brand. So can't wait to see where this goes.
Legal disclaimer: copyright asterisk 2025, all rights reserved. Copying, reproduction, disseminating, or distribution of the images outside of the server is strictly prohibited without express permission from asterisk.
Derek is going to be sharing some demo prototyping material. This is really finalized, but we definitely wanted to give y'all a look at what some things are going to look like and how we're building things out visually.
The following screens I'm going to go ahead and show you guys are approved by the team. We passed on from these, so these are the approved screens that are getting ready to go in development by Sean and their team, excuse me. And we're going to go from there. So these are the approved screens. So as of right now, this is our onboarding flow. This is the splash screen when you first get the app. It's going to say, hey, do you want to sign in and log in? There is one screen that's missing, but we'll talk about that another time because it's not really important right now, but we'll talk about it. You'll have an invite code. You'll go ahead and enter your invite code. And from there, you go ahead and enter your email address, your password. And in here, you go ahead and it tells you exactly what you need. You have capital letter, lowercase, number, symbol, and 8 characters, no spaces, birth date, because we're only doing 18 and up right now. And I want you verification code in your email, and then they'll welcome you to set up your account. From here, you'll create your unique username and your display name. You'll upload your profile pic, your bio, your pronouns. If you want to wish to skip this, you can, and just set it up later. And then once you get here, you'll have your option to choose your interest. But again, you can skip this. But you can go ahead and choose. These are just kind of general right now. These might change. They might not. We don't know. You can choose those, and then you can continue. When your app is ready to go, it's going to bring you to the feed. You have our like button. You can like, unlike, favorite, or unfavorite. These are your favorites right here. And you can go ahead and scroll, see different, videos. That is our feed. We're calling a stream. And then our search, you'll be able to see what's trending currently. From here, you'll have the autocomplete. So if you just type in TIFF, it'll automatically start, doing autocompletes down here. And then when you actually select Tiffany, you'll have this first set of videos that are the top trending videos right now. This is going to change, but this is just the beta version, the MVP version. You'll get your users, and then you'll see the tags that are most related to this. Now, some of you guys might be looking at this and going, what is those little things next to this? Well, this relates to badges. Here is the profile view, and this is where you're going to see your reputation. You're going to be able to post your videos from here. You're going to be able to review your videos from here.
And just to clarify on the reputation and the badges, since we've been working on that a lot, it's still in, we're going to be doing a lot of user research. As far as the badges go with the names and stuff, we're trying to make sure that it's, not making people feel like they're being rated like a movie or a Yelp review, right? So we still need to do some user research. Those badges are kind of just placeholders right now. Just so you know, it's still in the brainstorming stage. So if you we're going to ask you guys for input because this is an experimental feature, and public reputations, as you know, we've already had user research feedback from a lot of you guys, and the why you see the meter on your own profile is for transparency, but public profiles, Derek's going to show you, we are not publicizing that little meter because people didn't like to feel like they were being rated publicly.
And then you'll be able to follow this person, send them a message, view their links. So they'll be able to pull up their links right here. So if you click on the links, this will close, open it up. And you can close it out from there. Be able to see their videos and their posts and their reposts. If they allow that, because some people don't like you to see what their reposts are, but they can turn that off and on. So that's kind of we're again still in the iteration stage. That's why it's over here in the review column, because we're still working on it. But one thing that we've been really jumping around with, we're going to get some more iteration from you guys and more polls on you guys, but this stream customization, the ability to control your algorithm. Do you want to have politics come up on your feed? Do you want to have news come up on your feed? STEM, educational. Do you just want education? Or, do you want entertainment? Or do you not want comedy, opinion, whatever the case might be? Still working on these topics because we still might have other ones. And then the reputation. Do you not want to see any problematic or questionable people? Or do you do? And maybe you want to be generous and help them out because maybe they got bad and now they're trying to become good again. Who knows? And then down here, you can rank the importance of these. Do you want to see people first based on the reputation, or do you want to see people based on the mutuals, or do you want to see people based on communities first, or your trending topics or maybe people you're following first. You'll be able to adjust this just by clicking and dragging. Comments are going to look pretty similar to the way it looks on TikTok or Instagram. The difference is we're going to allow emojis. You'll be able to click it here, and then you'll be able to choose your emoji. Click that, boom. That is a very brief synopsis of the things that we have ready. We're still working on doing. Still a lot more to come. It's coming fast now, and we're getting a lot done over the next few weeks. It's going to come fast. It's going to come quick. Keep your ear out to the channels as far as polls and everything else like that. We're building it for you. So what do you want?
Just to kind of introduce Derek, so we've had the design team, Scribbles, me, Sean, and Derek joined us like already 2 months. Time flies. Came in super eager. Was like, hey, I've got tons of years of experience with Figma. Revamped all our designs and made it into a design system so that we could easily change colors, change sizes of things, and the devs will be able to easily see like measurements and everything. So like, just wanted to give a shout out. Thank you so much, Derek, for making our systems like it's going to be so much easier to tweak things as we get feedback, and like just having you on the team like this, making this a cohesive prototype. So cool.
I'm Derek or Viking King, whatever you guys want to call me is fine. I've been a UX UI product developer designer for 17 years. I've worked for Disney, Universal Studios, BMG Music. I've gone around the block. I spent the last 5 years working in federal government. Sorry. And then I got out of that in July of last year, and I've just kind of been working freelance since then. I tutor college students in UX UI, hold mentorship programs. I teach classes in UX UI, Figma, and everything else like that. So I am a well-rounded professional in the field. I'm happy to be here and happy to be part of this and help it grow.
Yes, and we're going to go to Sean to share the app development, code, and more technical side of some of the things that we have thought of, worked toward, redesigned, refactored, and rethought of in different directions.
If you haven't seen previous announcements, we are making the switch to AT protocol. This is big news as it's going to help us give users more control over their data. And this is going to align more closely to our mission and our values of making sure to put users and people first. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a setback as it's a major overhaul, but we have a larger dev team. We had 1 dev, and now we have 5. And what we got completed in the old code was the authentication flow. This includes both sign up and login, the feed, the profiles, both public and private views, the edit profile, and creating a post, both uploading videos and images or using an in-app camera to take photos and videos. So we have all of that to use as a guide. So hopefully we should get caught back up in no time. We are in the planning and setup stage because since this is such a big overhaul, we do need to go back and replan the structures. But hopefully soon we will have a pretty good plan and be able to continue with the code. And that's basically my update from the dev side of things.
And then we're going to hop back to Scribbles for some wrap-up thank yous and acknowledgments.
Yeah, I really wanted to thank so many people on the server for many things that you've done. You are the reason why we're here and why we've made so much progress so far. So I wanted to thank everyone who's donated. That's been really appreciated, and it's allowing us to get necessary tools to help us continue with our design and development. And like Brave was saying earlier, it's allowing us to get our website domains and looking at legal protections for our work as well. So thank you to everyone who donated, especially the monthly donors. Really appreciate that. Also wanted to thank our volunteers. All of our volunteers, and especially the new ones who so generously want to dedicate their time, energy, skills. You are the reason why we make progress. Without you, we would just be a Discord server with grand ideas. So thank you very much. And since our most recent, the viral video, in mid-December from Tall Girl, we've actually received 100 applications for people wanting to be new volunteers. So thank you so much for all the interest. We've been able to plug in some of those new volunteers, like Derek we saw. And if you are a new volunteer and you need help getting plugged in, feel free to reach out to me and I will help you through that. And then I also wanted to thank our ambassadors. So everyone who is out there spreading the word and generating interest, that's going to be a necessary work for us to be successful in our mission. If we make the app and nobody comes, it's not going to work. So we need you. We appreciate you, both spreading the word and liking our videos and all of that stuff. We also wanted to thank our founder group. So in the early days, Brave was talking about, we had a group of founders who helped keep our mission going forward and make sure we have a good foundation to build off of. We no longer have a foundership as part of our community, but we wanted to thank all of the early founders for everything that they did getting us to this. I also wanted to thank our wider community. So I appreciate everyone on our Discord server, and there's a bunch of people who have signed up for our newsletter as well and following us online. Since we really are community driven, we love hearing from you and having you be part of this journey that we're going on. So if you've been here and active in our Discord, you have been helping us come up with app names and deciding on logos. And we currently have a request out to help further define our values. So really appreciate everyone in our community helping out. We'll get there together. This is not anywhere that any of us can go alone. So really appreciate everyone being part of the community. Finally, I wanted to give kudos to 3 of our volunteers who have really gone above and beyond. I wanted to start with kudos for Brave. She does so much. I feel like she's everywhere all at once. I think about something and I'm like, we should probably do this. And then I look, oh, Brave's already done it and put out an announcement that she's done it. And it's just really wonderful to have her on the team. She wears so many hats: design, marketing, leadership. She helps taking care of all the people on our Discord server and helping with volunteers, putting structures in place to help support the work, taking care of our finances so far. There's not many things she's not involved with, and I super appreciate it. I also wanted to call out Sean. They were talking earlier about the dev team being one person back when we were making the original code. They are that one person, and I really appreciate all the effort that went into that. The sign up and the sign in flow, the feed, the profiles, creating a post from scratch and uploading and all that stuff. That was all Sean. And now that we have a dev team, they're helping to manage the dev team and help us go forward on this crucial work. We could not do it without them. So thank you. And finally, I wanted to give a shout out to Viking King, aka Derek. You saw his demonstration earlier of the app design. He brings so much experience, which we really appreciate, and the talent. Since joining 2 months ago, he's put his heart and soul into this project, and not just in design, also helping out with marketing and anything else that needs a hand. And I feel so lucky that he and all these people are on our team. So thank you so much.
I am going to share a few ways that are going to be helpful for us. So things that anyone in this call or anyone that sees this video or anyone in our community in general can do to help. You need dev and QA volunteers. So we really want anyone who might know someone who's a dev or QA or has worked on anything within kind of that product and testing or development areas. If they have some time or if you think they might be interested in helping out with that, please spread the word to them, spread the word to our server. Those are one of the bigger things right now because we're really trying to get a lot of the fundamentals built out with the development, and that's going to be super helpful. We have more people, especially for testing bugs and QA and things like that. And we're working toward a crowdfunding strategy and overarching plan. So we really want to build up enough people that when we start to advertise for launching, we have a lot of people within our community that are already looking forward to that and are aware of when that's going to happen. anyone who you think might be interested in joining or being a part of this mission, or who would just be interested in using a social media app that isn't trying to exploit them and take all the money from them they can. Please invite them, please spread the word, because we want to make sure we have enough people to where when we're launching into crowdfunding, there's a lot of people who can see it and share it and even donate if they have the funds and that's something they can do. We're currently working on the bylaws, the legal matters, the funding for incorporation, and legal and research-minded volunteers are something that we really would like to have some more of to get different points of view and to kind of round ourselves out, make sure we're doing them in a legally sound way. And we're also wanting to make sure our community has input and say into the things that we are embedding into this organization. So we definitely want to keep that conversation open as we're building this from a legal point of view. And the last thing, we have a newsletter that's going to be going out about our values survey. So if you've already taken that, that's awesome, super helpful. Thank you. If you haven't, the link is in the announcements, but we're going to be sending out a newsletter as well. We want, again, everyone in the community to be a part of the conversation for every part of this. That's the whole goal, because that is the thing that's missing from literally every other major social platform, or really just application and community space and in general, especially online, is that the people who use it do not have a voice in how it is built or how it is run and how it works. So we want to change that. And all of this feeds into that. And we want to prioritize everyone who is a user, everyone who's in the community over and above anything else. Just keeping us in mind, keeping Pebbler in mind and sharing it if you think someone would be interested is wonderful. And that is helping us so much. So we're really grateful for everyone in the community. And we're really looking forward to some of these areas getting some more support if possible. And again, everyone who is here, just being here, that's awesome. And we are so grateful for you too. The last thing that we wanted to go over was just kind of talking about what these meetings are going to look like moving forward, where we are wanting to have these types of conversations on a monthly basis, the monthly Waddles, like I mentioned in the beginning. And we want to start introducing some of the volunteer teams, people that are working across all the different areas and how they're contributing to the project, things like that. Next month, we do also want to talk about where we're moving toward next steps with an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign, what the funding looks like and how that money will be used and things of that nature. And we really, really would love anyone who has any ideas, input, or thoughts to be there to make sure as we move forward with these processes that your voice is heard and we are representing everyone's feelings and everyone's values as we're building these things out. Will we have an official PR pack? So by the way, I'm Drew. I don't know if I said that in the beginning. And I'm working on a pitch deck right now. So after that is kind of more fleshed out and polished, I will start to work on things like PR packs and press kits and things like that. We don't have one currently, but we will have some of those assets being put together soon. Plans on the reputation system, curious about advertising, transparency. Yeah, so again, like we mentioned earlier, the reputation system is certainly just in the prototyping stage. It's not, we haven't decided on the exact mechanics, the exact visibility for every aspect of it. Just trying to break away from the very toxic, annoying, exploitative, manipulative, psychological practices of social media. We want to use that as a system to have people's content and what they're communicating be truthful or be correctly and not misleading and things of that nature. So it's certainly being workshopped because every other application until this point has had the exact opposite goal. So it's not something with a lot of prior instances to look back on and see how it was done. So we are certainly going to workshop that with our community and figure out what works best for them. But
the idea of reputation is definitely close to my heart. I think I was the one that was like, what if we could bring the accountability in real life to digital online social spaces? But like in summary, this idea that we can have emotionally safe areas online the way we would expect to have in public, in real life, right? Because in real life, there's social consequences for bullying and for hate. But we can do that in such a way that's hopefully organic. Instead of pointing out people's faults, we just like maybe find ways to minimize the accounts that are, practicing fraudulent things or doing the things that we all agree are against the community guidelines. And we can come up with those community guidelines as a community.
Hazel was curious about advertising. I know if the product is free, then you are the product, but I feel like I don't actually mind advertising on social media platforms. I just want it to be transparent, or have an area where you can search. So advertising, you can implement advertising in a way where you are the product and it's exploitative at the cost to the user. That would be against our mission. But we do need to fund our platform, and we do want to make sure that people can use it even if they don't have money to pay us. So advertising is still a possibility, likely one that we'll have to investigate, but we can look at advertising from the point of view of our mission of people over profit. Can we have advertising in a way that supports the people first? Maybe that looks like limited advertising or limited data collection. Maybe that looks like transparency or helping small and local businesses and connecting them with people. I think there's a lot of places we can go, but simply, and this is just an example of how our design can be fundamentally different from other social media platforms because we're putting the people first.
And I think one of the key reasons that an organization like Astrith building something like Pebbler can do that versus other organizations is the legal and corporate structure of being beholden to private shareholders who own stock and share in your company, especially once a company becomes public, is that you have legal fiduciary responsibilities just like every organization, but yours as a public company are beholden to your shareholders, and they are the most important over and above your community and your users and everything. So we want to structure ourselves to where we don't have that as our legal priority, because even if the CEOs of these big tech companies were really good people, which they're totally not, but even if they were, they would still have a lot of problems trying to prioritize users above profit because the board of their company requires them to do certain things and make certain quotas of money. And we want to structure ourselves in such a way where we don't have those requirements and we can do the things that we want to do for the users and put them above it. Again, as we've reiterated probably 1,000 times now, that's the whole point of what we're trying to build here and what all of these amazing people and these amazing teams and volunteers have worked on for almost a whole year now. A place that is literally built for, built by, and built with the intention of serving the community that uses it. So please continue to engage, continue to just hang out in the Discord server. We want everyone who wants to be here in our community, and we want to give them an awesome place to be. So we are super grateful for everyone who came to this first of many monthly Waddles, and we're really just leaning into the penguin vibes here. So thank you all so much. And we really look forward to more conversations and next month's monthly Waddle.